In this problem, we asked you to figure out who the easiest grader on campus is. Now, by easiest grader, we meant the person who has the classes or the class with the highest overall average. And to figure out the class with the highest overall average, you need to first figure out the average for each student, because there are a variable number of assessments for each student, and then average those numbers. So it was just a double group by to figure it out, and a single unwind. So let's go through that step by step. First of all, this is the way a document looks, and I'll show it to you here in the terminal. So you have a student, and he or she has, let's say, an exam, a quiz, a homework, and we need to figure out the average of these assessments. Now, we also stipulated that we are not to include the quiz scores in the calculation, so we're going to have to do a little bit of filtering to not include the quiz scores in the calculation. And we're going to get the class ID, which has the highest average student performance. So let's go through that. All right, we start by unwinding the scores collection. That makes sense because we want to figure out the average for each student. Then we filter and make sure that we don't look at any document that has a scores.type of quiz. Now remember, we're unwinding the scores collection. The scores was originally an array of items that had type in them, and now once they're unwound, it's going to be scores.type. We flattened it out by one level. So we just want to filter out anything that's not a quiz, and then we're going to get the average for that grade of that student. We're going to group by the student ID and the class ID, because we want their average performance in that class, and then we're going to get the average score that they achieved using this average operator, and we're going to name it average. After that, we're going to go through and we're going to calculate the average for each class. So next stage of the pipeline, we're going to do another grouping, and we're going to group by the class and then take an average of the average that we had previously created in the previous stage of the pipeline. Now at this point, we have a bunch of documents that have a class ID and an average score, and we can just rank those from highest to lowest, and the one with the highest average student performance should be the one that we consider to be easiest. And if we do that, we can see here, if we scroll up, that the answer is that class ID 1. Here it is, right here. Here's the result. Class ID 1 has the highest average of 64.5. And 64.5, or class ID 1 rather, was the accepted answer.